The VR version of Skyrim has just been released on PC, giving us the perfect excuse to revisit one of the most striking and surprisingly varied game worlds of all time. And while we can't actually show you the game in VR, we can do the next best thing, a guided tour of the places you need to visit if you're stepping back inside the Nord homeland. Expect glaciers, caves, shrines, and one or two secrets you may have missed the first time around. Pour yourself a flagon of mead, pop a video of a crackling fire on your second monitor, and enjoy 11 sights you need to see in Skyrim VR. Dayspring Canyon is an easy spot to miss unless you're doing the Dawnguard quest, but it's absolutely worth a visit, and even more so in VR. It's a tough one to spot. Head north on the main path out of Stendarr's Beacon, east of the town of Riften. Look out for a gap in the mountain marked by two braziers. Step inside and enjoy one of the most striking hidden locations in all of Tamriel. Like a J.R.R. Tolkien description painted by Bob Ross. Frozen waterfalls and wafting autumnal trees overlooked by some striking misty mountains. If you played Skyrim and never found Dayspring Canyon, your VR revisit is the perfect time to fix it. Finding Bard's Leap is a rite of passage for everyone that plays Skyrim. It's an incredible rocky diving spot found just east of Cradlestone Tower, high in the mountains south of Rorikstead. There are hag ravens lurking here who make the journey difficult for new players, but it's worth the trip for the incredible views and the exhilarating jump. Doing it in VR might make you lose the venison chop you have for lunch, but you've still got to try it. It's in the rules. You can also unlock a hidden speech buff by doing the jump and talking to the ghost of the person it's named after, a bard called Azadal who tried the jump and failed.
Been a long time since someone took the lead. Longer still since any survived.
Thanks for that, it's a bit late for a warning. Okay, mudcrabs are usually an irritation, and the thought of going to visit a giant mudcrab might not make your things I really can't wait to do list. Firstly, the mudcrab in question is very dead, so dead in fact that it's essentially become a piece of scenery. Secondly, it's worth seeking out this nod to the giant crabs of Morrowind because it's a surprisingly beautiful little spot. To find it, head west of Whiterun, past Broken Fang Cave, and look out for it at the base of one of the rocky outcrops. Watching the sun reflect off those chitinous shells will give you a whole new appreciation for our freshwater crustacean friends. And you can take in the impressive Gukars monument slightly further to the northwest while you're here. Follow the main quest of Skyrim and you'll end up at the throat of the world as a matter of course. But it's still worth climbing the 7,000 steps to get here, even if you've decided you're a simple cabbage merchant instead of the Dragonborn. And it's an easy one to spot, simply look for the tallest peak on the horizon. Actually reaching it is slightly trickier. The 7,000 steps, actually there are more like 800 of them, are accessed by the northwestern bridge out of Ivarstead. And you should be prepared to fight your way past wolves, trolls and wraiths to reach the top. This is the highest point in Skyrim, so it's also one to avoid in VR if you've got acrophobia. But climb this peak on a clear day, and depending on your draw distance, there are few spots better suited to soaking up the full majesty of Skyrim. Another little Easter egg next, and by little, what we actually mean is massive, frozen, and slightly sad. Head to the northernmost coast, west of Winterhold, north of the Dwemer Rune of Alftand. And make a note of that now, because we'll be coming back there later on. Follow the path around the cliffs, and you'll come to a long-dead mammoth trapped in ice, frozen solid with the weapons of the people who were presumably hunting it still stuck in its massive frame. It's a lovely bit of Skyrim scene setting, worth a visit for anyone exploring the North Coast, even if it does feel a little bit like an installation in the Natural History Museum. There are loads of locations like Moss Mother Cavern in Skyrim, and in truth there are some that seem bigger and feel more impressive. Eldergleam Sanctuary, for example, is like this on a larger scale, a beautiful location you'll probably visit as part of the Blessings of Nature quest. But there's something about Moss Mother Cavern and the other locations similar to it that feels more personal. Like you're the only person that knows about it. It makes you want to pull up a chair and sip a glass of iced tea, if indeed iced tea is a thing in Skyrim. So this entry then is more about finding your version of Moss Mother Cavern to enjoy. But if you do want to find it, simply head west of Whiterun and southeast of Rorikstead to the end of the mountain range. Just don't tell anyone else. Shrines of Azura are present in all the Elder Scrolls games, and the Daedric Prince of Dusk and Dawn is a presence in many of the main quests. But her shrine in Skyrim is probably the most impressive, and seeing it in VR will give you a real sense of just how massive it is. To find it, we've got to go back to Winterhold again. Head southeast along the path out of the city in the direction of Windhelm. On a clear day, you'll easily spot the statue. Once you're there, it's also worth talking to Azura's last remaining follower, Arena Eineth, who will start you on the excellent Black Star quest and become a potential follower. This is a more general one because this celestial event can be seen throughout Skyrim on clear nights. Simply stare up at the sky on a cloudless evening and you'll probably see it. And even better, if you're a benevolent Dragonborn, you can use the Clear Sky shout to blow away any bad weather and let the people of Skyrim enjoy this humbling display of shapes and colours. Or on a less magical level, you can just use the console commands if you're playing on PC, which are SW and FW respectively. Seeing it in VR is almost as impressive as the real thing, and far cheaper than visiting Norway. It's in the spirit of the game that you'll want to find some Shrines of Talos, noble lost monuments that bring the storyline of the main quest into sharp relief. And there are two that are especially worth seeking out if you're filling in your Skyrim scrapbook. The first is in the far north on the bleak coast west of Winterhold. Follow the path of the water, avoiding the hawkers, and you'll come across this lonely statue that seems to guard the northernmost shores of Skyrim. other is at Bloated Man's Grotto, which you can reach by walking northwest out of Riverwood, across the White River through Brittleshin Pass, then heading due west. It's one of those lost, quiet places in Skyrim that are often so much more evocative than the bombastic stuff that everyone else has seen. No, it's not just a state of being. The Chill is an unmarked cave north of Winterhold that serves as a prison. This means you're only likely to find the Chill if you've had a run-in with the law or if you're a particularly intrepid explorer. We'd recommend the latter. If you do break the law, you'll find yourself in a cage in an icy cavern guarded by 3 frost atronachs, who are usually far less friendly than they appear here. If you fancy taking a look, the easiest way to get there is to do something naughty in Winterhold, otherwise this is where you need to head on the map. We'll finish with a slightly unusual one, which often tops people's lists of their favourite locations in Skyrim. We're talking about Blackreach. It's a massive underground city illuminated by glowing mushrooms and phosphorescent light found in a cavern which links 3 Dwemer ruins. It's one of the most memorable places in Skyrim and one which you absolutely have to see in VR. There are a number of ways to get here, but we'll go for Alftan since we already mentioned it in entry number 5, and it's the easiest one to say. You'll have to fight past Dwemer Guardians and Falmer to reach it, but it's worth the trip. In a world of staggering vistas, noble peaks and lush forests, Blackreach provides a breathtaking and beautiful contrast. And with that, our virtual journey around Skyrim is at an end. If you enjoyed this video and you want to watch it without me talking over it, there's a link to a music-only version in the description. Will you be picking up Skyrim VR, and are there any hidden locations that you love you're willing to share with the rest of us? If so, please let us know in the comments, hit that like button if this brought back any happy memories, and subscribe to Logitech G for more weekly shows and features.